Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, and today we're talking about something a bit different. We're going to be talking about Winnie the Pooh.
So there has been like quite a lot going on in social media and stuff at the moment about Winnie the Pooh, and basically the kind of depiction of the characters and different mental illnesses. Loads of people were like, oh, you've ruined my childhood and stuff like that. It does, like, Winnie the Pooh is completely like a really innocent
Childhood thing that you'd watch.
Yeah, and the way it was actually, I watched a video about it earlier actually, and the way that it was actually formed, and it was so a guy, A.A. Milne, he was like a famous playwright, I think, and writer, yeah, and he had a son called Christopher Robin, and basically Christopher Robin got this teddy given to him when he was little, and if I'm right, I watched a programme on Harrods, I think it came from Harrods, this teddy, and he wouldn't leave it alone, and his dad, being like a script writer or a story writer, saw that there was sort of a chance to write a story about this teddy bear. Anyway, cut like a super long story short, they came up with the name Winnie the Pooh because there was this bear that, I don't know if you know this, it's really interesting.
I don't know this.
There was a bear that, this was like in the times when they had circuses with like animals in and stuff.
Yeah.
And this bear was called Winnie Peg.
Okay.
So he named the bear, the bear was actually originally called Edward, and he renamed it Winnie after this bear that got sold to like London Zoo or something like that.
Yeah.
And the bear was called Winnie Peg. So he called it Winnie. And then the Pooh bit came from like a swan or something. The swan was called Pooh. So I don't know
thinking
how...
Winnie did a poo.
No, it's nothing to do with the bear being smelly or anything like that. Apparently it's something to do with this swan that was called Pooh. So then he called...
What a name for a swan!
The bear got called Winnie the Pooh. And basically, like, the son added like toys to his collection, and the father used to take him to 100 Acre Woods, actually, real woods.
Oh wow.
It's actually called 500 Acre Woods, and they renamed it to 100 Acre Woods, and the whole woods in the story is based on the true woods.
Oh wow.
Apparently the illustrator used to go to the woods and draw bits.
That's so
that were real.
interesting.
Yeah, so the whole story is based on his son, basically. And yeah, the characters, I think apart from two, Rabbit and another one, weren't actually toys. But all the others, like Little Piglet and stuff like that, were toys that his son used to play with and like make little stories out of. And that's how like Winnie the Pooh was formed. Where we're getting to with this is, I thought I'd do a bit of background check on the story.
Really
though,
interesting.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And you know, when Christopher Robin grew up, he actually resented his dad, because he started saying that, so basically when he was a little boy, he was named one of the most famous children in the world, like alongside the royal family children and stuff like that. And Winnie the Pooh actually brings in like 3 billion for Walt Disney every single year.
Still.
Wow. Apparently they make about 25 billion a year. And Winnie the Pooh brings in about 3 of that, which is
a big chunk.
I think it goes like the princess stories. So like the princesses,
like
then
Cinderella.
Star Wars, and then Winnie the Pooh.
Wow,
like it's that massive. And apparently Christopher Robin, I don't know, he was really teased for it when he was a child because it was about his story with his teddy bear, and all the children used to tease him for it.
Oh, I'd love to be like in a story, Christopher, but then you don't know what it's like in real life, do you?
I think it was quite sad. And then when he got older, he wanted to make his own name, and he actually created a business that had nothing to, like, he didn't use any of the money or royalties from Winnie the Pooh. He actually was like, you know, my dad used me to get famous. Like, he started getting a little bit...
I mean, you don't know what happens behind closed doors, do you?
But yeah, that's how Winnie the Pooh was formed. On to the reason we're doing the video.
So I'm just going to read a report here. It's quite long words, etc., so I'm going to read it. So the Canadian Medical Association sparked a widely shared theory that each Winnie the Pooh character symbolises a certain mental disorder. The theory has been around for at least 2,000...
No, since 2000.
Since I was like 2,000 years. Since 2000, when it was released in a BBC article. So each one, and it does, doesn't it?
So when you look into it, like, it actually really makes sense as to how they've come to that. I mean, a lot of people will be like, oh, leave the story alone because it's like a childhood story and it's really innocent. Yeah. But also, I do think, you know, a lot of young children as well do suffer with different mental illness. So I do think sometimes there's no harm in being aware of these things. Yeah. And actually from an innocent child's program being like, okay, well, I understand a bit more why they act like that and how their personalities like that.
And that it's okay to feel like that. Yeah. So we've got Winnie the Pooh has impulsive eating disorder.
Yeah.
Because he loves honey.
And OCD, like a compulsive...
So yeah, because he's like, I've got to have honey, got to have honey.
But around eating.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that one's a little bit more like innocent.
Yeah, I feel like he just loves honey.
He just loved honey. That was his character.
Yeah, true.
The next one is Piglet, who has generalised anxiety disorder. So it says Piglet is in a perpetual state of worry and can often be heard saying, oh dear. He has also developed an ear twitch, common in overly anxious individuals. So yeah, I mean, that's very true. Yeah. And if you watch the programme, he's always sort of like worrying, you know, always worrying.
Eeyore's the most one that relates to it.
About Eeyore,
Eeyore is depressive disorder, so he always has a bleak outlook on life and never feels any positive emotions like happiness and excitement. He's always in his little home, isn't he?
Yeah. Always like feeling sad. And then
probably depression to its extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have Rabbit, who apparently has OCD. So this is like more the typical sort of explanation what everyone thinks OCD is. So he always has to have everything orderly and everything sort of set in its right place.
And then we have Al, who has dyslexia like me, and narcissistic personality disorder. While he is exceptionally bright, it is frequently shown that Al has trouble reading. An example would be Pooh's Grand Adventure when he mistakes the word school for skull. Al is also theorized to have narcissism and inflated sense of self-importance due to the belief that he is wiser than others.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dyslexic, but I write poetry. So it's weird, isn't it? So I can see how you can't read it, but then, like, most actors or creative people have dyslexia, but they can do all these other things that might include words. It's weird.
And then, so Tigger has ADHD, so attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So Tigger's always been seen to be bouncing around, can never stay in one place for a long period of time. Who's next? Kanga.
Kanga? I can't remember who Kanga was, actually.
Kanga's the kangaroo.
Oh yeah. Okay, social anxiety disorder. She is very overprotective of her son, and she would never let her son make his own decisions because of her overprotectiveness.
And then her little baby Roo has autism spectrum disorder. So he lacks awareness of danger and his strange attachment to sitting in his mother's pouch. However, I do think children do often get attached to things. I suppose if it became like a problem, then that's how it would turn into sort of like the autism spectrum.
Yeah, true.
And I swear loads of children don't know danger.
Yeah. There's a
But then there gets to a limit, doesn't there? So yeah. And then the really interesting one is Christopher Robin.
So he has schizophrenia. It is believed that all of the talking animal characters above are manifested depending on Christopher's mood.
So they're pretty much saying that he sort of created the characters depending on how he was feeling at that time, and they're all a depiction of how he feels.
Everyone could go through these emotions very slightly, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Everyone could be a bit anxious about meeting my boyfriend's parents tomorrow, or I'm not feeling too good today, or I'm really excited, and things like that. These are just extreme cases.
But I think it's just quite interesting to see it from that point of view.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at most fairy tales, they have really deep, dark meanings behind them, like Little Red Riding Hood. I won't talk about it, but if you're interested, look it up. And you've got Hansel and Gretel. You know, they get
Yeah.
like cooked in an oven.
No, so that's so funny you said that. In my Spanish class last night, we read Little Red Riding Hood in Spanish.
Oh, right.
And we had to answer some questions. And I didn't even really know what the moral of the story was. I didn't realise that each sort of fairy tale had a moral of the story.
Yeah.
So it's called Caperucita Roja, I think, Little Red
Ooh.
Riding Hood in Spanish. And basically, the moral of the story was don't talk to strangers.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you know,
I think that's so deep.
in Three Pigs, was it Three Pigs?
They blow the
They blow the house down.
wolf. Three pigs.
With a
Little
wolf.
Three Pigs. What's it called? Little Three Pigs.
No. And they have a hay house.
Yeah. I don't know. Wolf.
Anyway, you'll probably get what we mean. They have a picture of sausages on their wall.
Yes! Someone told me that.
They
That
have
is
a picture of
messed
sausages
up.
on their wall. So basically they have them, it's like us having a minced up old body hanging on our wall, playing the piano. It's next to the piano and they're like,
That's weird. They
Messed
are
up.
a lot of. I think you should look into it a bit more.
that
because-
represents cannibalism. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. And we hope you enjoyed our video. Super interesting. And let us know your thoughts.
Bye.
Bye.